Үлкен істер әр қадамы жаңа жетістікке жетелейтін марафон. Біз осы жолды сіздермен бірге 10 жылдан бері жүріп келеміз. Тимур Құлыбаевтың халық қайырымдылық қоры.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC-KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
Games of the future.
To the studio. We're here for the Phygital Games of the Future, Astana 2026. Introducing some brand new disciplines today, like Phygital Shooter and Phygital Football, along with MLBB. A lot of amazing victories yesterday as well. Let's talk about that basketball game yesterday.
Good morning, everybody from the studios here in Kazakhstan. Thank you, Sarah. I cannot believe the wild card Team Wilders pulled yesterday against Liga Pro in Phygital basketball.
That was an incredible win by Wilders, who upset the defending champions LPT by a huge 10-point margin. Incredible show of physical strength there. They completely demolished those defending champions.
Absolutely. Even though I was not in the studio in the evening, I was glued to my screen for those basketball finals. And what an amazing awards ceremony we witnessed right after Team Wilders took the tournament.
What can I say, Sholpan? We're in this beautiful country of Kazakhstan, our host nation for the games. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, where better than to host the Games of the Future than Kazakhstan, because this is Kazakhstan's not first rodeo. We have hosted a numerous amount of international sporting and esporting events. Also, 2026 has been named the year of digitalization.
With that, let's take a quick look at the highlights now and give you all that action from yesterday.
Called Game of the Future. I just respect the team that are actually doing their best to with the Alchemist, and they did their best. And for me, the stood out the most was Enigma pick, and I'm actually so happy to see how they managed to come back to game number 2 actually. And yeah, nonetheless, I would like to appreciate Playtime for playing and taking the team fights phenomenally. I mean, we saw the back holes, we saw the echo slams, the team fights, back and forth, the buybacks. the width, how was he using dooms properly, was he pressing his eternal bait on time, on point, and it just was not enough because of Undying.
Issue, who was playing this Enchantress and was low-key dealing an insane amount of damage. El Misho was incredible. I agree with you that everyone else played really well, but you know, like you stated yourself, they had answers to those Vix ultimates. Right. They had answers to Doom with the Tombstone and sometimes Wind Waker saves. They had answers to Black Hole with the same thing. And because of it, it kind of fallen to position 5 to try to carry the game. He tried his damnedest, he couldn't make it.
Man, I was about to say about Almisha specific because he did so much damage on a P5 Enchantress. You would never expect that doing thing, but he's keep using those attacks with his Q, and
one of the fights playtime lost was actually not because they lost the fight. It was because Almisha ran out of mana.
And they showed it again tonight with all the different things, right? We start off again. They were down by 1 after the digital side, and they had to chip away. And how do they chip away? By hitting the roller every single time, looking for people.
You know, talking about team dynamics, a great play, of course. Dangerous, they were down 1 point in the digital stage. However, that doesn't matter because we know how much good they play during the physical stage. These guys will never back down no matter what. You know, take a look at the replay right now. There you go, Chibo, the main man, 2 down to paint with a hook shot. Kolya, lefty, 2, puts it up, nothing but the net, sir.
Yeah, and he hit timely shots. He's actually been doing that all tournament long. When Dangerous needed a bucket, he knocked it down. Here it is, that dagger in the heart for the game winner.
Highlights for y'all here. You see the champion right there making sure to do their trophy celebration. They swing it right, swing it left. Emotions high there as they raise the trophy in the air. Team Wilders, 6 days of basketball excellence is what they provided us here with at Phygital Basketball, presented to you by Halak Fun. And you see there
to Kazakhstan, to China. It's like a slow, gradual jet lag decrease.
Take a look at this team fight. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just look at this team fight right here, right there. And Yuma manages in a sliver of HP using the ulti, and then actually
you know why he managed to do it? Because somebody messed up. Somebody hard messed up. I think it was Mirana. And cool. Do you think he should be playing Sand King once again?
He actually did a good game on Sand King overall. Like, you know, he played it well on Sand King on game 1 and game 2, to be fair, because he was doing it actually correct moves. The thing is, the problem was his stunts overall. But let's see this team fight right here, how they were so close and they managed it through. How Malik is living in the sliver of HP and doing his absolute best to do all the damage, and Knight is cleaning LGD Pinghu. Yeah.
I think this whole moment started because Luna didn't press BKB in time and got picked off, and immediately Ruinators went for the Roshan, and that led to Tai Lung trying for something super scary.
This moment, Malik had a mistake over there. He could have TP BKB earlier, but it actually worked in his hands.
Yeah, it worked in his favor. This was a really meme fight, though. It's not often that you see 2 carries just standing there and hitting each other for like 10 seconds.
And it looked actually funny. It looked actually funny, and it wasn't funny when you see this black hole, and actually but it just way too much from your original roster. You got 2 players from the Power Rangers, right? And you got another player that is solo player, right?
Yes.
Basically. And tell us how you guys. Well, first you guys sweep your group stage 2-0, right? And then now you're facing off a TI team, and then you're knocking them out after the terrific game loss on number 1.
Yeah.
And you guys manned up with the laundry pick and didn't like.
If you've just joined us, welcome back. I'm Sarah G, and this is my co-host Shulpan.
Welcome back, everybody. We're excited to have you for such an exciting day today.
Let's dig deep into that basketball final first. Wilders completely destroying LPT, the defending champions. Can you imagine taking that game away with a 10-point lead? They started strong. Let's take a look at the video of them celebrating with their trophy. Absolute amazing vibes there. Some cool dance moves as well by our star player number 93, Sam, who actually stood head and shoulders above everybody else, both digitally and physically. So much of smiles, so much of energy, and that's what these games are all about. It's about teamwork makes the dream work.
Look at how excited and happy they are. Congratulations once again to Team Wilders.
Absolutely no easy baskets up for grabs there from the defending champions. Wilders absolutely sweeping through with style and ease there.
I love the digital fireworks. Look at that, the screen display.
Let's take a quick look there at the quarterfinals and semifinals, which don't really matter anymore because we have a champion in the house, Shulpan.
We do. We have Wilders taking the first place, LPT second and third place. Moving on to Dota 2, because Dota 2 is still going on and is heating up, because today we have only 4 teams left standing. Playtime, Resilience, Yakult Brothers, and of course the homegrown team, Rune Eaters. Today we will be playing the semifinals, moving into the final stage tomorrow. Will the home team be able to win on home ground? I sure hope so.
That would be an incredible victory indeed. A lot of people actually heading down there to watch these games live.
Absolutely, and Dota 2 is held at the Жақсылық Ushkimpirov Martial Arts Palace. So for anybody in and around Astana, make sure to make your way down to these venues today as the semifinals are continuing, and tomorrow to watch who takes the $1 million prize.
But of course, none of this would be possible without our amazing sponsors. We have a big lineup of sponsors who partnered with us and helped us, but we'll come down to that a bit later.
Of course, thank you once again to all of our sponsors.
Let's take a look now at the tournament schedule, which will be coming up shortly. As we said, a lot of new disciplines being introduced today.
As a matter of fact, almost 4 new disciplines we have today, with 5 multi-streams happening today.
Let's take a look at that. We have Battle Royale presented by Alatu Citibank, yesterday's champion 17 Gaming, Phygital Basketball presented by Halleck Fund, of course taken by the champions there, Wilders.
Absolutely, we have MOBA PC going on until tomorrow, and today we are introducing Phygital Football, which will run until the 9th of August.
Next up, we have Phygital Shooter, which actually has the most number of streamers because this is the most popular one in the pick, presented by, of course, Samruk-Kazyna.
Also today, we will be introducing the first round of MOBA Mobile MLBB games, which will go on from today until the 9th of August.
And in case you're like us and like dance moves, we definitely have Phygital Dancing, which will be starting on August 6th and running through to August 7th.
And we're finishing off with a bang with Phygital Fighting, which will be held over the 2 days of August 8th and August 9th. Let's look at today's schedule. We are starting strong with, as Sarah mentioned, one of the most streamed disciplines of the tournament, Phygital Shooter, brought to you by Samruk-Kazyna.
Followed closely by Phygital Football, presented also by Samruk-Kazyna. As you can see, they're our main partner and providing all the support we need for these big games.
Followed by MLBB MOBA Mobile, presented by Freedom. And throughout the day and finishing the day will be MOBA PC, and that is our now favorite, Dota 2.
I absolutely agree with you there, Sholpan, but I also think even though we have our personal favorites, the more we dig deep into these games, every single discipline has something amazing to offer.
Every single discipline has a lesson to be learned in each game. I absolutely have been enjoying every single game thus far. What about you, Sarah?
Definitely. The one thing that we know is that teamwork makes the dream work, and none of these games actually work so well if you're only thinking about your strategy. It's all about teamwork.
Is there any discipline today you are most looking forward to?
Definitely the football, especially since we've had some live action recently all across the world. Eyes have been glued to TV screens, if you know what I mean. Now it's time for Phygital Football, which has a completely different strategy though.
Completely different strategy, but same concept of phygital sports. The combination of digital and the physical realms together, making the athletes the full, wholesome, all-around athletes that they are.
As you said earlier, fireworks across arenas, so much amazing things happening, but none of these would be possible without our sponsor, Sholpan.
Phygital Football, sponsored by Samruk-Kazyna.
Don't forget, you can watch all the games live on our OTT platform, Phygital Plus.
And Sarah, navigation, just like in Phygital Shooter, is just as important in real life. So download the Yandex Go app and explore the thrill of the big city.
And as I said earlier, all the arenas are filling up, so don't forget to grab your tickets from Ticketon, our official ticketing partner.
That's www.ticketon.kz.
Excited to be here. It's as the days progress, the action seems to keep heating up. We have more disciplines being introduced, different strategies, different visuals, different fireworks as well.
Absolutely agree with you, Sarah. And have you noticed a trend, specifically in Dota, as the teams move along the group schedule, we are seeing more neck-to-neck maps being played. But let's talk a little bit about Phygital Shooter. Phygital Shooter is the combination, once again, of the phygital and the digital side, starting off with the digital with probably one of the oldest and one of the most famous online gaming, Counter-Strike 2, followed by a real-life match of a laser tag.
As you said about Counter-Strike, it was first launched in 1999, but the second edition came out in 2023, which didn't really stop the views or streamers. In fact, it's been exploding all across the world.
Absolutely, the game has been around for more than 25 years, and the maps that they use in the game are one of the most well-known maps around the globe.
Especially that discipline is all about tactical advantage. It's all about keeping your secrets close to your chest while you keep your guns up and ready.
I am most excited to actually watch the physical laser tag. Can you imagine the adrenaline, how they will hide, what corners will they use? For me, that's going to be a really interesting watch. Just a reminder for our viewers, the digital will be taking place and they might be switching venues over to the laser tag.
Have you ever played laser tag?
I have actually, and I was not so good at it, I will be honest. I don't have good aim.
As you said, though, it is a lot of fun, but behind all these games, there's big cash prizes coming up. But let's take a look at that opening ceremony there.
Amazing. Look at that venue. Look at those screens and the setup. The quality of that video makes you think like you're living in the cyber world.
I have to say, I'm so proud and honored to be here in this beautiful country, this host nation of Kazakhstan. You've put together such an incredible show for all of us.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and the biggest welcome to you and to all of our guests joining from around the world.
With that, let's cut live to our opening ceremony now.
Please welcome Team KZ.
I know you're incredibly excited to see your home team out there. Tell us what's going on.
I am really excited, especially because my home team is opening the tournament. Team KZ, a home team. Their playstyle is very aggressive, high energy, and every crowd loves an underdog. Even though they might be an underdog, I am hoping that they will take this round.
One thing special about this particular discipline is that a player can go down with just one bullet. And that's why tactical advantage is so important when we come down to physical shooter.
Tactical advantage, team communication, information relay, that is something really important on these maps. And also, Sarah, did you know that actually each player, there are 7 maps in Phygital Shooter. One of the best known is Dust 2. And each team has a favorite map. And based on a coin toss, they can actually ban a map that they know that the opponent is good on, giving them the head start advantage.
So while this might look like a very physical game, it isn't. It's all about tactics, it's all about strategy. But then again, Shulpan, we've been seeing that across disciplines as we progress through the days of these Phygital games.
Absolutely. No matter how much I am rooting for Team KZ, I must acknowledge that the Mirage team is also a very strong team with incredibly fast reactions, incredibly so, and also very aggressive entries and young rosters. So that young talent might be going in a little bit stronger, but we will see. We can see the team setting up right now. They look calm and relaxed, calm and collected.
They definitely look calm and collected, but one thing we do need to remember about this particular discipline, some of the other disciplines are much more new, but this particular discipline has been around for so many years. That means teams have so much opportunity to look back over the years and learn from other people's mistakes.
Thank you, Sarah, for mentioning that really important fact, because yes, Counter-Strike has been around for 25 years. The Phygital Shooter is a relatively new concept, and experts say that Phygital Shooter is the closest anybody can get to having a video game come to life. Also, another important note I'd like to make, Phygital Shooter is one of those disciplines that includes veterans, a little bit older veterans, because as we said, Counter-Strike has been around for more than 25 years.
With that, let's cut to Team Mirage video.
Still here with you at the Games of the Future, giving the freshest and most exclusive interviews with our athletes. Let's take a little break and look into a very interesting team who decided to partake in the competition, consisting of 7 players. The Mirage team is bringing top-notch skills into the maps of Counter-Strike 2 and laser tags. We are love to know something about all of you. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Ruslan, and our team name is Mirage.
First question, what side do you like to play as? Terrorists or counter-terrorists?
I think the terrorists.
Wow, very interesting. In your opinion, what's the top 3 players in Counter-Strike?
I think of course, Simple, Boomage, and now Donk. The playing, it's very beautiful, and I like it.
Some Counter-Strike 2 players would definitely agree with you. Could you tell us who's your personal favorite in this tournament?
I think my favorite is Xeno. I'm watching his game and he played not bad.
Thank you for your answer. Next question. What do the Games of the Future mean for your team? Why did you decide to participate?
It's very important for our team, and we need to improve the skills, CS2 playing, shooter playing, and laser tag.
This is a good reason. Tell us, how do you view your career? Is it part of who you are, your favorite hobby, or a bit of both?
I think, yes, it's part of me, and my hobby is playing CS2.
Understood. So does Phygital Sport help you deal with stress?
Yes, of course, yes. I think when I play CS, I'm in the different place, and I like it. When I don't have the stress and other bad skills.
Oh, wow. We wouldn't have expected that. What do you normally do after the tournament?
We are too tired. I also sleep.
Thank you so much, Mirage team. We wish you good luck in the tournament.
Do remember, these are not just games. This is a complete lifestyle for these players who take a deep dive to train and analyze everything about these games before they head into these arenas.
Absolutely. This is one of those disciplines where professional athletes swap their player keyboards to laser rifles within seconds. And the mental conditioning that requires is truly phenomenal.
With that, let's go live to our arena where we have the analyst on the ground with all the action.
Future.
Correctly, and right, that means that the scouts are out there always keeping their eye out, and there's always potential. And with the smallest in the world, like Kazakhstan, like Mongolia, right, with the Mongols in the last couple of years, you can clearly tell that the Counter-Strike ecosystem has developed so far worldwide that you never know where the best and the next best thing is going to come from.
Of course, you have to keep in mind that for Games of the Future, because of the addition of the laser tag side, this is not a VRS tournament because, of course, you're not just playing Counter-Strike all the way through. And if you're wondering how this works, well, every map played is worth a point, and both groups are coming in with 4 teams each. So winning a map is not the same thing as, oh, I've won a map in a best of 3, and if I lose now 2, then that map win doesn't matter. Every single win will matter over here because losing or winning points will be very important. You have to treat all of these maps as if they're independent from each other. The other thing that you also have to consider, Waxon, is that the veto is slightly different to traditional Counter-Strike over here as well, because of course we're having 2 maps of Counter-Strike being played, not 3. So, Waxon, do you want to walk us through the veto? So that's one about how this works.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, well, the changes, more or less, the best way we could describe it, we're talking about this in the pre-show, it's more similar to a best-of-1 veto than a best-of-3 veto. In Counter-Strike, we don't really get best-of-2s per se. So, effectively, every team is banning, and then they will be picking and playing maps 5 and 6. And the opposing opponent, I believe, will be choosing sides. So, for example, let's just assume, T-Time, you choose Nuke as your 5th map pick. I'm most likely going to choose CT side on Nuke. And then I pick Inferno, and you choose whatever your preferred side is. And then there's, I guess, no number 7 because it will be Chimo. I'm also looking at, some of these players that might have some physical traits, right? Because this is going to be one of the fun aspects of Phygital games that I got to bring into attention. Who do you think looks like, well, of course, we're going to go based on looks because we haven't seen them perform just yet, as they deliver best, on the 3rd map. Because, like I said, there will be multiple opportunities for players to actually win 2-0 on server and then get completely obliterated on the deciding game 3. If you're someone that, has some IRL aim, if your cardio is pretty good, you've got good spectral awareness outside of the server, that might be the make or break for your team to make it past the group stage.
I think what's also going to be particularly interesting over here is because last year I was also covering the Abu Dhabi Games of the Future, and we actually got to see a couple of professional laser tag players coming in and being the 7th or the 6th player. So you have to remember there are 7 players per team. So as far as strategy is concerned, you should be bringing in 2 people who are specifically very good at laser tag. So when I'm looking at our team Kazakhstan's lineup that I have written for me, I believe that Semenyak is actually a professional laser tag player, and I think Novikov might be as well. So keep an eye out for what those guys are going to be up to. We're going to be, of course, talking more about the laser tag later on in the day as well. But I would expect that every team coming into this, because you are playing for a whole lot of money, right? $150,000 is no chump change. And if you can bring in 2 players who are going to increase your chances of just straight up getting 1 more point in the group stage every single time, why wouldn't you?
No, it's a fair point, and this is why it becomes such an interesting dynamic, because you will have different teams prioritizing different aspects of the tournament. You could call it the meta, right? Because it will be a meta by the end of the tournament. Some teams will definitely show their stronger hands, and I am intrigued to see as the tournament progresses to see if the teams with the stronger IRL aimers can make it far, or the extra map advantage on Counter-Strike will actually be offsetting all of those stellar plays. Or who knows, we might just get a team that's all around amazing both on and offline, which is going to be cool to see. But it's one of those difficult things, Tea Time, of theorizing, because this is the debut game of the tournament, right? So it's going to be quite nice to see how the performance of these two teams will dictate what maybe the rest of the teams following them today will be trying to do.
When I think about some of the greater teams of Counter-Strike history, and I look back to thinking, oh, who do I wish was sort of competing in this as well? If I had the ability to reverse time and bring back one lineup from the past to come compete in this format, do you want to take a guess about who I would bring over, Waxen?
Please.
I would bring over the old Virtus Pro Polish team. Because those guys were tanks, right? You've got people who are really physical. You've got a lot of, actual endurance and strength and everything as well. While being really damn good at Counter-Strike. I think across the history of Counter-Strike Global Offensive at the very least, and maybe CS2 as well, I can't think of a better team to play this particular format if we'd only been able to get them. Of course, they're all deep in their 30s now. Maybe now is not the time to have them, but if I was to reminisce, that feels like the kind of team I'd want on the server.
Yeah, the Golden Five would be an absolute menace, right? We've got Pasha the man. He's been fighting cages, cycling continents, and of course the rest of the squad. They were so great, and they all had great minds for the game, right? And I think they could have come up with some funky strategy for the offline, because the experience of being a unit, they played together for so many years, the core of them. That honestly, I think that definitely helps, because when you surround yourself with the core players that you spend so much time with on and off server, even if you just play classic Counter-Strike tournaments, you do a lot of team building exercises, you do the outgoings, and some of those activities might involve forms of paintballs or forms of air tag, right?
Yeah, of course. And look, I think if I had to give them an opponent, I'm going to cheat a little bit, because I don't know if you watched it. Were you around in 2017 in the Counter-Strike scene, Waxen? Were you still watching back then? Okay, so back in 2017, I don't know if you remember this or not, but over in the ESL 1 Cologne event that happened back then, we did have a small football match between the Brazilians and the Poles as well. Ooh. So we actually had SK versus Virtus Pro, and I think that was cool and everything, but it's not close enough to the actual Phygital element that we have now, right? Like now, this is very much a direct translation of laser tag. You've got tactics, you've got the laser flame, which is very similar to a bomb plant as well. So there's actually a lot of interesting Counter-Strike-esque elements going into it. So if I wanted to see that strategic matchup, the idea that I can have, the Brazilians of SK, who are also all fairly physically fit, because, if you can play football for 40 minutes, I'm pretty sure you've got at least some level of physical fitness. And go take them and put them up against Virtus Pro, where you're also looking at two different styles of IGLing, two different methods of captaincy, while still having teams that have been playing together for so long. Like you said, lots of synergy there, lots of innovation. How cool would that be?
I think I would like, how would I say, I would buy tickets to the in-person event to see that, because that would be excellent, right? And of course, I grew up with those players, so just having them clash one more time, even in a different format, would make it even more entertaining. So maybe there's something to be considered there for a potential show match for Games of the Future in next year. Who knows, right?
I'll get on the board for their consulting team. I'm just going to drop them a DM right now on Instagram. Be like, hey, guys, can I consult for you? That's how this works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shooter shoot, right? Isn't that what they say? And speaking of shooters that shoot, obviously a lot of all the 10 players on the servers are in-game shooters. But my question is, right, knowing they are coming into this tournament, knowing how useful it is, right? The players here, although they have varied experience, most of them haven't really won what I would describe a tier 2 or tier 1 event that has some of that juicy money. Do you think, knowing that they're coming here with 150,000 on the line, do you think they've actually paid a bit more attention to their fitness over the last couple of weeks or months?
Look, there's also the idea to consider that you're not suddenly going to get good at laser tag on like to a point of like a full pro level, right? But what I would expect is that if these teams, for example, we know Team Kazakhstan is bringing in 2 pro laser tag players and whatever as well. If you know that you're going to be playing with them, there's probably some use to just putting up scrimmages, putting up, you know, practice matches and whatnot. One of the more interesting things would be, or one of the more challenging things would be, like if you are a team who wants to try and get in for the laser tag practice as well, how do you find good practice partners, right? Because whenever I'm going to laser tag, there's 7-year-olds I'm playing up against, and I like playing against 7-year-olds, Waxen, because I can trip them up, I can bully them, I can tell them off. But this is not the situation over here. This is not a 30-year-old man beating up 7-year-olds in laser tag, not in real life, I promise you guys that. So I am very curious about how the practice meta sort of develops coming into it as well. Fitness is one thing, but the actual tactics of laser tag, how do you try and get the right practice partners? How do you try and enter this very niche exclusive scene? It's a very interesting idea.
And then the next step is, how many days earlier did you come to Astana, right? How many days earlier did you come to Astana? How many scrimmages did you have to do? Did you have the opportunity to do any scrims versus the other teams that have right to the venue? And do you treat it in a similar, in a similar esports fashion, that you try to avoid practicing with the teams in your group and you go with practicing the teams in the other group? Because these are all great questions, but obviously we got Team Kazakhstan, which of course are the home crowd favorites, and they are playing in their own arena, which is where they're most confident with. But are they gonna be actually maybe having that home turf advantage, or will it be more a disadvantage because the other teams have practiced in different areas? Right. We get the Wolf, we get the transition, and we're straight onto Mirage, and we got Mirage team playing Mirage. This will only go one of 2 ways. Absolutely, Mirage team will be jumping straight into the pistol round. And let's see tea time. What do you think Team Kazakhstan has prepared for us in this pistol?
Team Kazakhstan shouldn't be uncomfortable. Of course, keep in mind they are coming through with Botpie. They're coming through with Aldecon, who are some of the best players on the server right here now. Rainy, a couple of early shots spotted out. Weaver's the one to get the first kill and the second. Weaver as well covering off the cross, and as Ivar will fall, it's a quick start for Team KZ. Of course, for Team KZ, they're going to be sitting on an eco over here, a couple of deagles being purchased at Waxen, and this is where I am kind of curious to see how exactly they can, perform with these. This is generally where you are expecting to see mistakes to be made, right? It's A, the pressure of being at an actual LAN event and whatnot as well, but B, it's just the idea of, well, maybe our aim isn't as good as we thought it was. Maybe there aren't as many players who are, feeling like they're absolutely world-class in the same way coming into this one.
I hope that's not going to be the case. Even if you're a younger team, you can obviously feel overwhelmed if this is the first thing you start facing. But, it's a group stage. That's the first thing. It's not an elimination game, right? You start learning from your... start maybe adapting to the playstyle of what we would describe as higher skilled players, and then maybe you start getting more rounds, you start getting more confidence, you start adapting, like I said, very fast. Who knows, maybe you will end up being successful and get one map here and there, then win all the third map deciders as we discussed, and somehow make it further in the tournament. But of course, I do agree with you. The risk of being completely shut down and then that spiraling downwards because you can't match up to your opponents is always a huge risk, especially for the younger, less experienced teams.
Yeah. It'll be interesting though, as we also do have to consider that for Team Mirage, let's talk about the veto a little bit, right? Because normally what happens in vetoes is that you will have 2 maps banned out, then 2 maps banned. Now we have 4 maps being banned out, and the 5th and 6th of the map picks coming through. So you actually do get to play this more like a best of 1 in a lot of ways, where if anyone's new to Counter-Strike, in a best of 1, because you are banning out 6 maps overall, you're almost always going to end up in a situation where both teams are pretty comfortable on this. This is sort of like a happy marriage between a best of 3 and a best of 1, where on one end, you know that you probably don't need to have more than a 3 to 4 map pool, but on the other end, you do still have to you do only get 2 bans, so you do probably need at least 4 maps. So to pick Mirage, KZ's picked Nuke. That is a much harder map to learn. That is a much harder map for a amateur or a semi-professional team to be able to get all 5 players aligned on, even if they're coming into this big tournament where they've done a lot of practice and everything. I am a little bit skeptical on their chances in Nuke. If they want to take this series, I think it has a Mirage laser tag event being put together if Team Mirage wants to win this out.
Yeah, I've historically always said, especially in outside of tier 1 tournaments, I've always said when you're playing anything that's, well, less than a best of 3, because you can play best of 5s, of course, I always advised tier 2, tier 3 teams and, you know, coming up teams to avoid going for these very one-sided maps due to the nature of how difficult they are. And of course, as of right now, I would argue that Nuke is the most one-sided map in the current pool, right? Historically, we used to have Train, but that's not a thing these days. And putting yourself with a back towards the wall in a best of 2 by locking yourself in a corner and starting T-side of Train, even if it is your, starting C, I'm thinking about the maps that I would like to see in the pool. Thank you, Valve. By starting on the T-side of Nuke could be very, very hard, especially if you somehow lose the first map. Then you don't have any chance of rebound. Oh, we lose Nuke, we come back on the opponent's map pick. No, if you lose on Mirage and then you start T-side of Nuke, this could be a very, very rapid snowball down the hill effect.
To be fair, you are going to be, because obviously KZ is the one picking into Nuke, so they should be a little bit more comfortable on the T side. Mirage will be starting off on that CT side. And again, I'm going to keep on repeating this because I'm not sure how much of our audience is just purely coming out for the Phygital games. For maps like Nuke, there is a massive advantage to picking it in the sense that obviously you prepared it more and you knew beforehand that this is what you're going in with. But that being said, there's also the disadvantage that you don't get to start off on a stronger side. Maps like Nuke, Train, Overpass, you know, 2 out of those 3 aren't in the pool anymore. But these are the kinds of maps where one side of the map is supposed to be doing all of the heavy lifting, and then it's just about, oh, who can get 3 or 4 rounds on the other side. So for Nuke, it's supposed to be quite CT-sided. A typical halftime scoreline that you're going to see is probably about 8-4, and that's where you can say, okay, this is a pretty good half. But for the T side, you know, the idea that you can settle down with 4 and say, okay, this is still doable, that's not ordinary for a map. There is only ever 2 to 3 maps in the pool out of 7 where you can have this one-sidedness to the inherent design of a map.
I like this, and I think we will continue to do this throughout the entirety of the week here of the Counter-Strike, well, whatever, shooter portion rather, and to explain it, because we will have a lot of new viewers. I suspect that are maybe fans of watching laser tag, and then they might get into Counter-Strike. So we will try to often keep all of you updated. As of course, I can definitely myself, to speak for myself, I can often find you know, quite a big focus on the deep macro play Counter-Strike game. So I'm glad that you started this tea time by breaking it down in more simple terms for all the viewers at home. And of course, if you are lucky to join us here live on the live stream, don't forget you can also still purchase tickets and go see all the games in Astana in person, which is so exciting, isn't it?
Astana's also been having more and more, like, you know, big esports events recently. I really appreciate that the government is, from what I understand, the government is also getting a little bit involved in trying to make sure that, hey, this is becoming a cultural hub, especially when you consider. Now, again, this is a little bit technical to the professional side of Counter-Strike, so try and follow along if you guys can, and the backlines up. This is where, if you aren't familiar, most of Counter-Strike in the world on a tier 1 level happens in Europe, right? So Europe has a Schengen zone problem, which is that no team or no one person who isn't from Europe can spend more than 90 days out of 180, so more than 3 months out of 6 in Europe. So it ends up being the case that there's a lot of teams who are, maybe they're Russian, maybe they're North American, they have to deprioritize certain events because they are worried about using up their Schengen days. So whenever there's a world championship or a major in Europe, you have to keep 3 weeks out of your calendar for that, just in case. So you're already saying 1/3 of your matchup time is basically gone. So Kazakhstan ends up being a really happy marriage where it's not too far out east where you're having to go to China, where you're having to go to Singapore. It's just close enough where flights still seem a little bit reasonable, but you can still get all of the top teams coming in without having to worry about things like Schengen days as well. So Astana, I think, over the next few years could become a little bit like a Belgrade, in the sense that Belgrade had its time for 3-4 years where it was becoming sort of this hub of Counter-Strike, Europe away from Europe in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and of course, even playing online tournaments, right, as a lot of these tier 2, tier 3 players will do, the ping is not perfect, but it is much better, right, than playing well, from, as you probably know, as you probably mentioned, rather, from China or from NA onto European servers. So historically, I remember there was a huge joke, a meme back in the late 1.6, maybe even early CSGO days about Adrian, who was fairly consistent online, but whenever he would make it to LAN, he would absolutely destroy all of these, and he would be the top scorer, the best KDA in the tournament, because you know, the weights were off his ankles, sort of Rock Lee Naruto style, right? He would actually be able to play the game with real ping at the same level as his opponents. I remember, I think this was a legendary game. He had, I think it might have been a 4-mapper in a best of 5 series, and he had 100 plus, 110 maybe kills, and he was playing on 100 plus ping. So yeah, this is just one of those things that of course, with 5G and with development of the internet, people have managed to overcome, and it's much easier now. But still, I would say the highest level, as where every microsecond mattered, having 20, 40, 60 ping higher than your opponents could put you at a disadvantage in an online game.
Oh, it's a massive difference, right? And I think that now Kazakhstan is getting slightly better ping. I think they are getting about 75 to 80 away from the 120 ping days, which were just the... to be frank, I play on 120 ping. Sometimes it's not great. Okay. I know that a lot of North American players try and convince me, oh no, it's such an advantage to have 140, 120 ping online. You don't even see the person in the peak. Listen, that's fine and all, but like trust me, that's not why you're losing to people with 140 ping. It's not because they have an advantage over you who's sitting at home with your 15 to 25 ping because you're playing on Dallas servers with the Cowboys jersey on, right? It's a very different situation, and Kazakhstan has suffered from this infrastructural problem a little bit because, of course, you know, internet lines and everything. This is just such a big global problem. This isn't even just a single location thing that you have to consider. But yeah, it's just kind of cool to see that recently we've had such a big uplifting, because for Kazakhstan, obviously the biggest moment historically across Counter-Strike was 2017, right, where they end up winning the major, where they end up doing so well with the help of Zeus coming in as a legendary IGL and whatnot, and you've got multiple Kazakh players. I think there were 3 Kazakh players on that Gambit team that takes it on. But even then, it wasn't the same kind of fanfare as we have now. I mean, we never had the chance of filling out stadiums back in 2017 for Kazakhstan, put it that way. We didn't have the chance of, you know, having true governmental support way back in those days. It's such a big leap that we've taken forward, and yes, it's 9 years ago. The industry's developed a lot since then. It's becoming much more common for cities to be bidding for esports events. It's become a lot more common for governments to be trying to get involved in increasing employment opportunities through esports events. And with things like the Phygital games, what becomes particularly interesting is that Astana wants to be getting involved in like a consistent level. I think there's also a lot more on the physical element for creating small business, right? Because on one end, LAN cafes and whatnot probably already, but if there's going to be a robust competitive laser tag scene, for example, if there's going to be a repetitive just, for example, these are things where that infrastructure that needs to be built, and in building that, there's jobs to be created, there's an economy to be boosted up. I think it's very interesting, just the overall macroeconomic principle of just the phygital games in particular, even compared to esports.
Yes, and this is one of the other reasons why these type of tournaments are actually so important to the ecosystem. A lot of people might argue, oh, we're just here to see playing CS, but you get plenty of that. The Counter-Strike calendar is so packed with tournaments from Tier 1 to Tier 4, I would argue. You get so many matches every single day to the point that you might, there's a bit of an overkill. And when you get something new, a different flavor, I think that's what it should be celebrated, and it should be actually encouraged, because if we get more tournaments that somehow manage to incorporate Counter-Strike in different forms and make it for a different viewing experience, right? That's how you can get more, like you mentioned, more businesses, more sponsors, more organizers, and more players. And that's what makes a healthy esports scene that we want it to be as long as possible, right? We want the longevity of Counter-Strike to continue for the next 25, 30 years, right? And this is great for the game. One of the things I miss most from my 1.6 days is how much joy the different game modes were, right? It wasn't just the classic 5v5. People were playing way more Surf, way more Death Run. People were playing Bunny Hop, KZ, HNS, and as the CSGO transition, yes, those game modes got imported. People are still making maps, and Surf is still very prevalent, but some of the others, you could argue, have dropped down a little bit. But back then, I remember there were small LAN tournaments for people that were completely horrendous at actually shooting and moving in Counter-Strike, but they, well, not moving, because I guess they would win hide-and-seek tournaments, right, which was only about movement, but they couldn't really click the mouse, and it was awful. And people were making maybe not a living out of it, but they were making some money to show for all those hours spending in the game. And if you can actually cross this barrier that esports has faced forever, for decades now, about the judgment of esport players are just maybe less fit, they're not actual athletes, and you can showcase in several tournaments like the Phygital games at hand here that, no, that's not true. Esport players are true athletes, both on the computer and in person, that could again reach so much further into the casual viewer's perspective. And you mentioned Just Dance, you mentioned, of course, the laser tag, but we also had the basketball section as well, which of course is one of the largest sports in the world if you consider the NBA and everything we see with the teams. And then getting into the budgets, because you might not be a tier 1 Counter-Strike player, you might not be able to join Donk and Zayu in the top 20 HLTV players, right? But if you are a top 200 player in the world and you're a top 20 player at laser tag, that is a huge career opportunity for you, and it's another direction that a lot of the youth can take for the future.
And especially when we consider Wax, and I think maybe because in Counter-Strike we're so used to talking about the professional scene, but in the rest of the world right now, community spaces and second spaces are being built. You know, we're having so much addition in that regard as well. Just having these places for the youth to go to is a huge deal. But right now, the youth is getting onto the Counter-Strike server once again. Woo. It's Team KZ who've taken the pistol down incredibly one-sidedly. Weaver, 3 kills, Aldecon 2, not losing a single member outside of Rainy, but you know what? His name is Rainy. He's going to be a little bit sad. That's how it works. It's going to be a half-buy coming out from the Mirage team, and as they move forward with their Deagles and their Tech 9s, they are going to find their money a little bit limited for the next.
Oh my god, Statefly. I mean, he's a straight fly, but he felt like he was in a different state when he swung with that pistol. Of course, don't read too much into this. There is no helmets, just a pistol. Tapino will find one Tech 9 kill, and now it's going to be Grom. My favorite type of gelato brand, actually, in fun fact for all of you at home.
And I don't know if your gelato's getting you out of dodge over here, though.
No, he's not. He's not. He's going to be melting as Statefly wants to get in easily. It's actually Aldecon coming in from the back with a spray down. Team KZ actually losing 1. I think Botpipe might have only had a pistol or an SMG, so not too big of a loss, but oh boy, we got an AWP straight away, T-Time.
Aldecon's feeling himself, gets that extra money, and why not? Now, Aldecon is one of the more talented players in the server. I think Aldecon and Botpie are probably going to be the best players across this set of 10. So I am interested to see exactly how this will be sort of shaping out in that regards. We get some aggression coming out into A main from Team KZ, and all in the meanwhile is Aldecon and Spadafly who are ready to contest that middle. Aldecon, first kill is beautiful, finds them completely off guard, and as Ivar tries to push forward, Stratifly's push up through short is going to catch them as well. Now this is going to be all down to Ivar and whatever he can find. The backstab onto Aldecon should be going by unnoticed. Good for one, can he make it two? Yes, he can. Ivar bringing it back, but Rainey's push calculates.
Dead, overwhelmed by the M41. Ivar picks up the AWP, doesn't manage to get anything, and we get MVP going the way of Weaver. It's been a while since I've seen an MVP on a Counter-Strike Pro match. Whoa, whoa, did my computer, my screen fell off this table. Woo, I love that.
Give a little bit of roller coaster situation.
Because I was asking for more surf, right? And the observer was like, oh, you want some surf? I'm going to shoot you some free cam surfing. Of course, great push here from Weaver and Rainey. Caught dead by surprise. And then the round was pretty much done and dusted, despite Ivar's great impact. And now we'll have to see yet another, well, I guess mixed purchase, as Papino has invested fully for a Galil.
So I googled Papino Moloko, as Rainey will be able to find another one as well, because I googled all the players who I couldn't find HLTV profiles. And Papino Moloko is apparently a band. It's something to do with music, so I don't think I'm going to find anything on the SEO side. It is also just, you know, an Instagram musician with 800,000 followers. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find any details about a Counter-Strike.
But what if it's him?
It could be.
What if it's him?
It could be. You never know.
I mean, we're talking about sports, we're talking about esports, but how about some music, right? And Grom finds somehow another MP7 kill, which again is not a sentence you often see now. Watch the shoulder. Oh, gets dinged down to 2 HP there, and I think now that his position is known, he's actually making his way to pick up the bomb from ramp. So it will be Botpie waiting for him on top of stairs. But now with the shift going on, he's also going to get flanked. Mr. Grom has an opportunity. Botpie gives the shoulder away, but Weaver, perfect flank. Back-to-back MVPs for him. And I wanted to say this since I saw the entrance. Those glasses, I don't know what they are, but I want them. I want them.
I agree with you. They look like ND filter blue light protection glasses, because the way the light is sort of shining off of them, that's how you can generally tell. Okay. I have used glasses like that, so do you wear glasses, Waxen?
I had to wear them for a while, but then I actually got an intervention, so not anymore.
No. Look at you, Mr. Surgery, right?
It hasn't been the most successful thing, but yeah. That's a conversation for a different time. But as of right now, I do not have glasses.
Okay, so I have very bad astigmatism. So when I'm playing on like a computer or whatever as well, sometimes I do need glasses that are slightly similar to that. And I said, I don't look like such a baller with them on. My glasses don't go fully blue over there. I don't look like I'm over here to just, you know, ready to just absolutely destroy a Counter-Strike server. But Weaver does, and that's what matters.
Yeah, actually, I see all the KZ players are dripped up. I think I saw a very fancy watch. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that he might need to take that off for the laser tag portion. I'm just saying, right? It's very physical. It looks a good-looking watch. You don't want to.
That's true. You don't want to scuff it,
right?
It's interesting because I wonder if the other thing is because Team Kazakhstan are obviously not home ground, but you can also just bring more stuff over from your home because you do this and that. Like I always, in case it gets laggy. So imagine one of them is showing up with an entire.
For having whatever you want at the comfort of your home. Granted, of course, Astana is in pretty. I don't know if all them have. Yeah, of course. I don't know if they all live in Astana, but I'm going to tell you actually a little secret. I'm a big geography guy. I love countries and I love traveling, I suppose. And Astana is one of the countries I've had on my bucket list since I was about year 8 and we studied Kazakhstan in school.
That's cool, man. Listen, I just wanted to go to Astana because of the extra esports stuff that they've been doing. Otherwise, Almaty was sort of more where I wanted to go to city-wise in Kazakhstan. But I'd love to go to Astana for esports events and things like it as well. What is kind of cool though is just to imagine that all 5 of the Kazakhstan players just show up with every one of them bringing like a car full of stuff for themselves and say, hey, listen, I got an extra bed. I got my mattress because I like my mattress at home. I got my pillow because I like my pillow at home. What do you mean I can't use my own mattress in the hotel room? Of course I can. Drag it up there, concierge. Just shows up with, just shows up with everything possible just to make sure that, hey, I'm serious about $150,000. Don't mess with me.
You joke about it, but if you think about like the highest level of athletes, right? We're talking about comparisons with professional dancers. We're talking comparison with professional basketball players. Let's not even get into football players. At the highest level, every type of these small changes can affect them. I was reading this a few years ago that I don't remember who it was. A huge couple of tennis players and football players. They were slipping on like an antiviral, antibacterial mattress that was protecting them from getting any long-term illness effectively. And I'm like, I'm so out of this fear. I didn't even know that existed.
I think one of the more like recent things as well to give an example of is just, you know, the FIFA World Cup that just went by, where it was making headlines that Norway took 600 kilograms of food for their players as well, because the players didn't want to try and, you know, eat the food in America just because it's a very different biome with very different bacteria that is going to be going into you. And just to make sure that all you have to focus on is going to be just, you know, the ability to kick the ball, right? You don't have to think about, well, maybe if I go to this place over here, they're going to put too much sauce in the salsa. Maybe if I go over here, their fish is not going to have, you know, as much mercury as I'm used to because my oceans are more polluted. That's not true. Norway has some of the cleanest oceans. But, you know, that's sort of the situation that you have to avoid as well. So when it comes to this, so what we're establishing now, Vaxen and I'm going to lead up this very serious conversation to what the metagame has to be for domestic players here at the Phygital Games. We have to have them come up with an entire car full of mattresses, pillows, and food. Is that what we've established?
I think it's that, but it's also the friends and
mattresses, pillows, and food. Vaxen, get on the program.
I'm gonna do it right now. You know what? I'm gonna start coaching, and this will be my motto. As we get back into the actual Counter-Strike, hopefully the players didn't feel too distraught by that extended break as Mirage team taking control of top mid. Flashers are land. They're gonna easy opening from Aldicon. Nothing ever. Can he find a trade? Yes, he can. Shitogi did take some damage in the backline. Hyper finds a nice second, but now straight fly from short. Coming up, Cat gets the kill in Grom. I mean, second most kills for his team, and all of them found with the MP7. This guy knows something that I don't.
Hopefully he knows a lot of things that you don't. I wouldn't want you in this tournament.
Hey, all I'm saying is that I would be a mean laser tag player.
Oh, dude, you know what? That is the part that all of us probably are lying to ourselves about. Like, oh, well, you know, we know we're not good enough to be professional Counter-Strike players. Well, laser tag, yeah, we could take him. Like I said, I'm used to beating up 7-year-olds in laser tag. Dead is 1 versus 3, and with 45 seconds, this is going to be a tough sell. So barely an HP, and Stratifly will make sure he's got none left.
Үлкіміздер әр қадамы жаңа жетістікке жетелейтін марафон. Біз осы жолды сіздермен бірге 10 жылдан бері жүріп келеміз. Тимур Құлыбаевтың халық қайырымдылық қоры.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC-KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
Games of the future.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the studio here at the Phygital Games of the Future, Astana 2026. Shortman, a lot of new disciplines coming in today. Tell us about them.
Absolutely. We're introducing 3 new disciplines today. Starting with a little bit later, we're having the grand opening ceremony of Phygital Football, one of the most famous Phygital disciplines across the world, followed by MLBB, Mobile, and...
But right now, we have Phygital Shooter and we have the home team up there destroying the competition. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's too early, I think, to say, but my excitement is already through the roof. Let's see how the home team goes on through the maps. Speaking of maps, CS2 is known for 7 famous maps: the Ancient, Anubis, Dust 2, one of the most widely used maps, Inferno, Mirage, just like one of our teams, Nuke, and Terrain. So those were the 7 maps.
Let's now take a look at the schedule. We have Battle Royale presented by Alato Citibank. Of course, the winner there, 17 Gaming.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And yesterday we had the Phygital Basketball with the Team Wilders taking a surprising but well-deserved victory.
We have MOBA PC presented by Center Credit, running all the way from July 31st up to August 5th.
And Phygital Football, which we are introducing today, and it will be going on until the 9th of August.
Moving on, we have Phygital Shooter running from August 4th to August 8th.
Mobile MLBB also being introduced today up until the 9th.
One of my personal favorites there, Phygital Dancing, coming up real soon, covering 2 days, August 6th and 7th.
And last but not least, we have Phygital Fighting going on over 2 days on the 8th and 9th, sponsored by Samruk-Kazyna.
Let's jump into today's schedule presented by Samruk-Kazyna. We have Phygital Shooter, which just started off with the home team KZ taking on Mirage.
Yep, opening that stage. We have Phygital Football coming up very shortly, also presented by Samruk-Kazyna.
Stay tuned if you've just joined us. We have a grand opening ceremony for the Phygital Football starting real soon. Moving on, we have MOBA Mobile
and MOBA PC.
Taking a look there at that amazing digital layout of Astana.
Absolutely. Look how beautiful and futuristic the city looks and is in real life. We have some amazing buildings featuring Astana's skyline. And right as we're flying through that tunnel behind, we are seeing Central Asia's biggest shopping mall.
None of these games would be possible, though, without our amazing sponsors. A lot of big stages, a lot of fireworks, and of course, a lot of logistics going into making these games possible.
Download the Bank Center Credit Bank app and manage your finances with Bank Center Credit.
Don't forget to log on to our official website as well so that you can keep track of the daily scores, of the schedule, of the fixtures, and all the action.
And there is a lot of action that is going on, so make sure to keep up with those results. Also, we would like to mention our official partner, Sven.
We'd also like to remind you that the Just Dance discipline will be starting soon, presented by Solid Core Resources. This will be starting at Barry's Arena, running over 2 days, August 6th and 7th.
And I know you are super excited for that one. If for anybody watching, Sarah is actually a DJ.
Absolutely.
And I've seen her dancing. And I think if you were in that discipline, Sarah would have been taking that tournament home.
Honestly, a lot of inspiration there because all these Phygital games are about teamwork, and every single team across disciplines have their special moves which they use when they enter the stage.
I couldn't agree with you more. Each team has their unique playing style, which they honed over numerous international tournaments and over those long hours that they clock in preparing for these tournaments. Over 10,000 hours some of these players have clocked in, and that is amazing. It just shows that this is true athleticism at its best.
As you said, elite athletes taking center stage here in Kazakhstan for the Phygital Games of the Future, Astana 2026.
And with more statistics about that, we have over 800 athletes who have flown here to the capital of Kazakhstan to take part in the Games of the state-of-the-art premier sport complex that hosts over 3 disciplines in this tournament, and this really is a big feat for this venue.
Both Phygital Shooter and Phygital Football take a lot of skills because do remember, right after all the digital action, the teams don't really get a break there and have to get physical and get in the thick of things.
Yes, and we have 2 Phygital sports disciplines featured today, Phygital Shooter and Phygital Football, with Phygital Shooter beginning with digital Counter-Strike and then moving on to a real-life laser tag, and Phygital Football also beginning with a 2x2 digital video game, followed on by 5x5 mini football game on a real field.
We love taking a deep dive and letting you get to know the teams up and personal. So with that, let's jump straight into a video.
We're here at the Games of the Future, and the competition is getting hotter by the minute. Every match brings more pressure, higher stakes, and tougher opponents. In Phygital Football, one mistake can change everything, whether it happens on the screen or on the pitch. And when things don't go your way, it's easy to lose your cool. Gamers call it tilt. But how do Phygital athletes deal with it? Let's find out how they stay focused when the pressure is at its highest. Let's welcome the team that we will be asking about this topic, FC Olympic Phygital. Could you please introduce yourselves?
My name is Samruk, and I play for FC Olympic Phygital.
I'd like to ask a couple questions about tilt. Are you an anxious person? Do you get nervous before matches?
No, I don't feel any pressure. I don't get nervous. I believe in myself and I believe in my team.
We see that you are very confident. Could you tell us what part of the game usually makes you tilt?
Especially the football part, where I don't play, where I don't take part. It gets more like anxious.
Thank you for being so honest. How do you calm yourself down after a mistake?
After a mistake, it happens in the game. It's a part of the game.
For a
Packed so much so that, did you know, Sarah, professional gamers can burn up to 100 to 200 calories per 10 minutes.
And that's exactly what I think Team KZ has done there, taking that win, smashing their opponents out of the park, Shulpan.
Wow, congratulations. That is a great start for the tournament.
I can see smiles on every single face there. They were the underdogs going in, but as we can see, the true spirit of Kazakhstan is a country shining through there.
Sarah, and we have been at that amazing venue before, looking at PUBG, which won a couple days back that $1 million prize. That Beeline Arena really transformed into something truly digital, magical, and fantastical.
What a special stage for what a special victory. The home team there, head and shoulders above their competition.
Wow, my excitement is really through the roof. I cannot imagine the palpable excitement at the arena itself.
An incredible win there by Team KZ, focusing on both the digital and physical disciplines.
Yes, and I think you know what is really important to mention here, that the switch from a controller to a real laser tag, it takes a lot of precision, and some teams...
Absolutely, Shulpan, but I'm going to cut you short there. We're jumping right into the opening ceremony of Phygital Football.
Wow, look at that stage, look at those lights, look at that excitement. Now, this is a discipline I'm most excited for.
Astana, give them your support! Thank you, friends.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026, brought to you by Samruk-Kazyna. My name is Matthew Isaac, and next to me is Ahmed as we bring you all the actions that happens here live in Astana, especially on the digital and also on the physical part. Well, Ahmed, it's a great day for football. How are you feeling, man?
Well, top of the morning to you, Matthew. Finally, the wait is over. Finally, all that excitement, all that anticipation as the football superstars take to the digital stage. For NS team, it's going to be Santi and Huaco. And for Team UEL, it's going to be Arnold and Spoken, who start off with the digital action.
Yep, this is going to be really amazing to watch. I just can't wait to see who is going to make the best out of each other, especially when they are going into the digital part. The most hardest part for me is going to be the digital one, because not everyone can nail the console part. But most of them can actually do really well on the physical pitch. But on the digital one, that's where it counts there. That's where you get your advantage there, Ahmed.
Absolutely. Time runs out very, very quickly in the PlayStation 5 stage. So if you can get even a couple of goals, that can set you really forward. Let's look at the team UEL. Remember, it's 2 versus 2. So like I mentioned, it's going to be Arnold and Spoken who will be kicking off in the first half. Second half, it's Gold, Cyber and Amir 411K.
Absolutely. Really solid team there by UEL. But let's have a look on NS team, where we see Santi, Janko, One, and also Maxi will be coming into the digital platform to fight against UEL team. Well, this is the team that has already been the runner-up for the contender stage. I believe you were there for that, Ahmed.
Absolutely, they came in as the second runner-up. They finished third in the contender stage, hence qualifying for the winner stage. So they will want to go that one step or couple of steps further as we come to the winner stage in Astana. They're familiar with the conditions, they're familiar with the surroundings, second time going. So let's see if that slight advantage will work this afternoon against UEL, who are the home team. So the pressure is well and truly on.
Absolutely. For those who are watching right now on the social medias or on our social platforms, make sure you guys are voting for your favorite team or rooting for your favorite team who is going to be winning this. Either it's going to be UEL team or it is going to be NS team. Because in the previous year, we got so many fans coming across, you know, supporting their favorite players, supporting their favorite team. That's what makes this sport much more beautiful than it is. But at the moment, we are just minutes away before we kick off into the digital world there. What are your expectations for this, Ahmed?
Well, I do expect NS team to be aggressive, looking for goals, looking to take the early advantage. I have to be honest, I have not seen UEL before in the Phygital game, so they're a bit of a surprise for me. NS team, I know they like to play an aggressive brand of football, whether digitally or physically, so expect goals galore over the next 10 minutes or so.
You know, I'm not going to lie, I really love when you say goals galore, because, you know, in these kind of moments, this is where you see lots of goals could come in, especially on the digital aspect. But let's see what we have for our match today. So just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be UEL team going up against NS team on the group stage. This is the round 1, I would say, and we got lots of teams coming up later on. But for now, these two teams are going to go head-to-head, and let's see where this finds. Because one thing for sure is that one team has really good experience coming off from the contender stage, but I would not take my bets off for UEL team as well, Ahmed.
Absolutely, as we saw ACF Allure dominating in the contender stage, so that home team advantage certainly does play into the hands of the players. As we kick off the action, it is going to be Team UEL who will be in the dark strip, who are looking forward down the right flank, looking to create an opening here, but good defense coming in from NS team, who are playing in the light green. Throw in coming in, quickly taken to Vitinha, the Portuguese midfield wizard, going back all the way to the defense, as it's going to be a cagey start, not looking to make early mistakes, Matthew. That is the key.
Yeah, that is the biggest key right now, not to concede as fast as possible right now. But looking at this, oh, that's a goal! And it's had to be Erling Haaland to score that, but wait a minute, it's an offside. It's an offside. You can see the looks on the UEL team players, they were all stunned. But man, that was almost a shocker right now, Ahmed.
He had half a bootlace in front of that final defender. Extremely close call, but the linesman gets it right, and NS team breathe a huge sigh of relief, Matthew.
Absolutely, but I think welcome to the digital part of the game, because, you know, you cannot run away from offsides like that. You'll definitely be caught in 4K, HD, or whatever you want to say it. But at the moment, it is NS team on the attack, and let's see if they are going to be scoring this first goal or not, because the first goal determines so many things when it comes to this competition. But here they go. This could be a chance for Lionel Messi. back again for his teammates. They're just not trying to break the defense as fast as possible. Just trying to take some calculated risk. Erling Haaland now, and Haaland goes for the shot. But well defended there, Ahmed.
Extremely good defending there. The angle was a bit tight, but he did get a shot off. As we have Lionel Messi now building for Team UEL. You do see that they like to play a slightly slower pace here. They like to play and, you know, be very precise with their passing, and they're hanging on to possession and frustrating NS team at the moment.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to, you know, stop the momentum of the game. Just wanted to be making sure that they have in control. And let's see, from this lob up in the front, and Erling Haaland is a little bit free. The ball is loose, and the goalkeeper comes out again to save that. Man, that was a mess in the box just now, Ahmed.
Unbelievable save. Goal mouth action galore. And how have they survived? Only they know. Looking for that direct throw to Haaland into the box. And Bremer, they're the Brazilian, doing well just to clear the lines. But it is a corner for UEL.
Yep, from this corner, can they get the first goal? Erling Haaland waiting in the box. Could he be the target now? Yes, it is, but only for the defender to read the ball and clear the ball out. But UEL is not stopping anytime soon. 26 minutes has elapsed so far, and we see attacks from both sides, but more leaning towards UEL as they're coming closer and closer towards the first goal. But this is going to be a throw-in. Can we see something out of this right now, Ahmed? Oh, that's a very bad one, Ahmed.
And you give it away to Lionel Messi, the GOAT, and that's a massive mistake. But yes, overall, UEL have been the more impressive side. Lovely ball down the left flank as Vinicius turns back as they look to build once again. There is a bit of space down the left flank, but they're very precise to the center, looking for an opening. But so far, NS team just content to hang on to possession. A lot of quick changing coming in between the winger and the...
Relaxing and not to rush the moments right now. But there you go. You cannot be making mistakes like that in a situation where you are right now in need of a goal. But here's Messi. Messi, Vinicius Jr. and also Erling Haaland waiting up in the top. But he's just trying to find right back. Could this be a moment for team for the first goal? Still looking of NS team right now. Needs to be very precise every channel of play, but I can really smell a goal.
I think they must have at least 70% possession overall here, Team UEL, but they've been NS team. They've defended quite stoutly as time is running out. In has glanced it on point blank range.
What Messi in that position should be scoring. I think even done right now of what just happened, but we are on a break, and that is going to...
I think you have to look in the way they created a lot. They were clearly on the back foot, but as we can see, there was that early goal, but ruled out for offside, and you can see the reaction even that the goal got ruled out.
Oh, that was the most painful part for me, because you know being raised, but there you go. This is I think this performance on the pitch, but from both sides. But the second half, those are to Phygital, brought to you by Samruk-Kazyna, but right now, Ahmed.
Be quite interesting. Can the new combination of Amir fall as far as for NS team, it's going to be. Can they do a smash and grab? Just get a goal and put pressure on the home team, and you never know.
Absolutely, funnier things can happen. This is football. The ball is right. I think we're going to be, some glimpse of goals, almost a goal. The ball just did in the back of the. Now they're going to be a different different that will be partnering up in the second half. So maybe we can expect some better football, better chemistry from these players.
Absolutely, it's so important to get it right. A football with your friends as well. You know, it's offside, so you're passing, your communication, everything has to be absolutely on point.
Precisely, man. So these two teams, those of you just tuning in, this is the Phygital Football, and we got lots of other sports out this entire week of the tournament. And you are watching UEL team going. I'm going to talk a little bit about NS team there. Ahmed, how well did they perform in the contender stage?
They were pretty. Was their real strength 5v5? Perhaps in the digital stage they struggled a bit, hence they in this phase in as second, the likes of ACF Allure a couple of months ago in the first week of June. They used to the condition would put them in good stead.
All right, so let's have a player that you would really on there, Ahmed.
I think you have to take a look at Maxi because he only is an athlete. He's a physical one as well. He'll be involved in the 5v5. So if he can get it right here, it'll be very interesting. Now we have 99 and 19 for UEL, Gold, Cyber, and Amir 4111K. They're so the pressure is on. They need to get a goal or two advantage as we.
It's going to be the one that's going to be carrying in the digital. I think player we need to be looking forward to. So two teams going head to head right now. The score is still 0-0 from both sides. As we are about to go into the off and going for the second half of the match between. Like I told you earlier, it is 0-0. No goals between these two in the first 45 minutes. But entire outcome of the game.
As we have now NS team moving from pardon me, as they're looking to build patiently from the back and trying to always feel that's really important. There's bomb the crosses into the box for the will bury the
Ahmed, because but right be a chance. Seems like team might be the first goal, but fortunately cleared. UEL, yes, use of the flank. We have a player like Erling Haaland who's enough to hit the ball into the back of the net, then that is how things happen. You know, that is how things could change around. But let's say if that is going to be some sort of a bit frustrated, and right now with this corner, will there be a team? I would say a couple of two to three players waiting in some effort, but wasn't enough to defeat the goalkeeper, Ahmed.
Wasn't it? Erling Haaland sitting outside the box. He heads the ball away to the danger, and you can see a lot more directness now coming in from both teams, Matthew.
Yeah, that's what makes this thing much more even intense. This entire digital platform going into their own. That could be a Lionel Messi. The ball, but only they have nothing to rush, just relax a little bit. UEL team, but you know, when you need a goal, you got to be a little bit.
We only have 20 minutes remaining. This half is absolutely playmaker plays the ball to Salah, looking for an opening. The Egyptian Pharaoh with a beautiful through ball, one passing the ball around, but that crucial interception coming in from Messi. The team once again bursting down the left flank is Vin. Still here, Matthew.
I think they want to bring it to the Messi, and not even for Vinicius Junior there into the physical part, but UEL might have a different plan. Still, Lionel Messi makes the pass, trying to find a Vinicius Junior on the left. Erling Haaland waiting inside the box. Still Haaland putting on to the position with just about a couple of minutes to go. Junior perhaps could get the ball into the box, but he's still not making a plan, Ahmed.
Yeah. Just overcooking it a bit there. Mbappe tapping the ball for Haaland. Brilliant finish, brilliant team move.
And who else that needs to score this goal? It's Erling Haaland from that position, defeating Thibaut Courtois. That they could enjoy.
Brilliant goal, brilliant, and Erling Haaland had to really stretch the home team, get the slightest of advantages.
Time on the clock. I think maybe the NS team could get one right now. They could. That will definitely help. Haaland, still Erling Haaland. But that is the end. That is the final whistle. UEL will be bringing that one precious goal into the physical part of the.
Fantastic second half. Fantastic goal coming in. The advantage going into the 5v5.
Precisely. I think that is for UEL at this moment, because you know, playing the most when it comes to attack, but that one absolutely worked. This is the highlights throughout the match. Pulled out, and we saw them being, you know, a little bit emotional on the camera, but they worked really, really well in the second half.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to Team UEL. They were always, that was the finish. Mbappe chipping it in front of the goalkeeper. On the team cam, delight and joy.
We have in our hands, we are done with the digital part. We're going to be jumping into the physical on our live streaming platforms for the future. Astana 2026, presented by Samruk-Kazyna, and I would tell the very best part of the game, and that is going to be the physical.
Biz осы жолда сіздермен қайырымдылық қоры.
Центр Кмен, сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Astana 2026 brought to you by Samruk-Kazyna, and physical part of the game. They are all going to go on to the P5. Well, my man, what?
Well, get your smartphones out immediately. That is the QR code for Center Credit. Download the BC, and that will certainly put you in good stead. For Matthew and I.
That'll be really lovely, man. That'll be time to prepare. It's time to get ready for the match. Well, how do you performance for UEL there? Ahmed.
Even Stevens, I would expect goal advantage means now 5. Let's equalize early and then put the home team under pressure. And take a look at the left of your in attendance supporting Team UEL. Is time will tell as we got the starting five in for Team UEL. Avel, watch out for number 11 Boat as Toby Arnold.
Yeah, we are definitely going to keep going into the game, but I would not put my bets off for NS as a second runner-up on the contender stage. And there you go, John Ma are the players that will be stepping into the pitch very, very shortly. And for me, I think games there, I mean, because in the physical part, things could change.
Solely, he is their goal threat. He is their star striker. Herrera, number 11, the blonde bomber, the playmaker. His team lies, but it is Team UEL with the slim payoff. Time will tell.
Yep, time will definitely tell. You can see on the number 11, can he actually bring that game to the next level? In the meantime, we also have to be having a look. Players, in my opinion, where but who else we need to highlight again in this team there, Ahmed?
Well, watch out for number 10, right? He's a new addition. He wasn't there part of the contender stage as far as will that pay off, time will tell.
Before we get into the game, and let's see how things unfold between the. Will be starting on the blue, or shall I say light blue, is NS team. Well,